Welcome back to Secrets Behind the Stars. Settle in, because today we're tackling a subject that will get hearts racing, the rise of a duo who turned every scene into a promise and every glance into a headline. If you read the title, you know exactly where we're going. Gökberk Yıldırım and Cemre Arda, the pair who turned melodrama into artistry and chemistry into legend. Before we dive headfirst into the memories, don't forget to subscribe and tap the bell so you never miss what we uncover here. We bring you the brightest moments and the rawest truths of the entertainment world, delivered with love and a pinch of audacity. In this video, we're unwrapping why, for so many of us, Cemre stands as the undeniable queen of romantic drama while Gökberk remains the partner whose presence sharpens every edge of her brilliance. Together, they've built a legacy that feels bigger than any single role. It's not only about beauty, though they have that in spades, it's about that spark they ignite when they're on set. Cemre slips in and out of characters like she's changing hearts. Gökberk meets her with grounded resolve and a gaze that reads like a confession. They make us believe the stakes, the secrets, the choices. And that, more than dialogue, is what keeps us glued to the screen. Let's revisit those roles stamped into our memory. Remember when Cemre embodied the tormented Isabella in The Labyrinth of Desire? You could hear the silence between breaths as she wrestled with love and pride. The weight of every pause, the tremor of every decision. Cemre gave Isabella a soul we could touch, and Gökberk, cast as the magnetic counterpoint, matched her in restraint and longing, turning a simple meeting in a corridor into the promise of a storm. Or the time Cemre's flint and fire lit up Sofia in Hearts on Fire, revealing a woman whose strength hid a tender fracture. Gökberk's slow-burn presence gave Sofia's unspoken hopes a face. That balance, fierce and fragile, commanding and exposed, was the secret ingredient that made audiences exhale in unison after every scene. What sets them apart? Versatility, 4-1. Cemre swings from steel-spined heroines to characters bending under desire's gravity, while Gökberk shifts effortlessly between brooding rival and steadfast lover. Few can stride from ruthless to romantic so convincingly, and even fewer can do it in tandem, syncing beats like dancers who intuitively share tempo. Watch Cemre's eyes soften into trust, then freeze with calculation. Observe Gökberk's posture loosen into surrender, then snap back into armor, all in the span of a single exchange. Every gesture is chosen, every word lands with intention, and the camera never has to search for truth because it's already there between them. Roll back the tape a little. From the very beginning, there was a hum around them, a promise you could sense even in projects that didn't break ratings records. Think of Echoes of the Past, where Cemre played Elena, a young woman protecting her family inside a maze of betrayals. She was fragile without being breakable, and her resolve felt earned. Gökberk's presence in that early era offered a quiet steadiness, a kind of gravitational pull that made Elena's sacrifices more urgent. Their scenes together were a slow build, like a wick inching toward flame. You could already tell they weren't there just to recite lines, they were there to put their fingerprints on the story. And then the hits arrived. Sombras del Destino came like a thunderclap. As Victoria Alcazar, Cemre carried the weight of empire and the ache of a hidden past. Victoria was all contradictions, poised yet tormented, commanding yet unsure of the shadows following her. Cemre didn't just play her, she inhabited Victoria's guilt and desire so completely that you forgot the woman on screen wasn't real. Gökberk, as the man whose loyalty collided with passion, met her on that knife's edge. Their confrontations crackled, their true scenes felt like holding your breath underwater. Every private monologue, every half-lit confession, Cemre calibrated it with surgical subtlety while Gökberk matched her with eyes that told a second, parallel story. But it wasn't all heartbreak. The madness of love revealed another side entirely. As Clara, Cemre embraced mischief and warmth, the bohemian painter who turned chaos into comedy without slipping into silliness. Her timing was a dance of glances and small, precise motions. Gökberk leaned into the fun with a disarming charm, grounding Clara's spontaneity with playful patience. The two of them created laughter that felt sincere, never forced, the kind that bubbles up because you recognize something human and endearing. Now, about their chemistry. Some actors act beside each other, these two act with each other. Whether they're playing star-crossed lovers, adversaries with too much electricity, or partners learning how to trust, they weave a thread you can't break. Case in point, the storm-soaked kiss in The Embrace of Forgetfulness. The rain turned the street into a mirror, and the scene became a confession without words. Cemre's hesitation, Gökberk's surrender, the two of them collapsing into inevitability, you could feel the heat and the ache at once. It wasn't just a kiss, it was the history of two characters pressed into a single moment, and you believed every heartbeat. What's remarkable is their refusal to stagnate. Cemre doesn't repeat patterns, she seeks roles that demand a new vocabulary of emotion. Gökberk does the same, taking on parts that complicate his leading man image: men who falter, men who forgive, men who learn. Together, they've shown us warriors who fight through grief, parents who choose sacrifice, ambitious dreamers who pay a price, lovers who face their demons and emerge changed. In all of it, the audience recognizes something that feels like life. We see our fears in their quiet beats, our hopes in their reunions, our regrets in their missed calls. And the industry noticed. Nominations piled up, then trophies. Critics praised their craft, calling out Cemre's precision and Gökberk's restraint, the way their scenes rise to a different register when they're paired. Awards followed projects in television, then film, and eventually theater, where they stripped everything back and proved that voice, breath, and presence can fill a stage as completely as a camera frame. When Cemre took on the lead in A Secret in the Shadow, spiraling through a family mystery with a past that wouldn't stay buried, she anchored the film with vulnerability that felt dangerous. Gökberk's performance, a study in suppressed truth, shaded the story with tension you could feel at the base of your neck. Critics didn't just applaud, they argued about who stole which scene. But let's come back to the world where they reign. In serial storytelling, where volume can overshadow nuance, they brought authenticity. Cemre doesn't overplay tears or flatten joy, she lets emotion arrive. Gökberk never forces intensity, he lets silence do part of the talking. And that honesty, those unguarded moments, are why viewers return night after night. Even when they perform characters whose lives look nothing like their own, something essential slips through, a truth that feels shared. That's the rarest currency in a genre that can drift toward excess. With them, you feel the temperature change when love turns to doubt, when duty collides with longing, when forgiveness takes root. We could replay their greatest hits for hours. The way Cemre's face lights like a dawn when a character chooses herself. The way Gökberk's jaw tightens when a promise breaks. The softness of a smile delivered after a long fight, the rage that trembles rather than shouts. It's craft wrapped in charisma, discipline dressed like spontaneity. And underneath it all is the bond between two performers who trust each other enough to jump without looking down. So, to sum it up, we've traced the arc of an extraordinary partnership. We watched Cemre build a pantheon of women: Isabella, Sofia, Elena, Victoria Alcazar, Clara, each one different, each one unforgettable. We watched Gökberk meet her at every turn, sometimes as anchor, sometimes as storm, always as the spark that turns a scene into a memory. They've triumphed in high-stakes drama that made us ache, and in airy comedy that let us breathe. Their chemistry doesn't just look real, it feels earned. It's the alchemy that keeps viewers invested and keeps their names at the center of the conversation. Now it's your turn. Which of Cemre's characters got under your skin first? Isabella's hunger, Sofia's determination, Elena's quiet resilience, Victoria Alcazar's ravenous contradictions, or Clara's irresistible chaos? Which project with Gökberk hit you hardest? Was it the charged silence before the rain in The Embrace of Forgetfulness, or a whispered apology that landed like thunder? Tell us which moments you replay when you need to feel something true. Your stories and debates make this community what it is. If you loved stepping back into these worlds with us, hit like and share this video with friends who swoon just as hard as you do for magnetic storytelling. And of course, subscribe to Secrets Behind the Stars if you haven't already. We're here for the long haul, tracking every surprise, every reinvention, every gasp-worthy scene. Until our next deep dive, take care of yourselves, and keep a little room in your heart for the next twist they'll give us, because with Gökberk, Yıldırım and Cemre, Arda, the only certainty is that they'll make you feel everything, and they'll do it like no one else can.